The Snapback with T-Mac is brought to you, the post-game show by Wall-to-Wall Roofing and Construction, Louisiana's go-to roofing team for fortified roofs, top-notch craftsmanship, and elite customer care. Just like a great offensive line protects the quarterback, Wall-to-Wall protects your biggest asset, your home. Call 225-605-WALL to protect your blind side. The blind side was important tonight. The front side, the back side. We couldn't protect any side tonight. I felt bad for Nussmeier. He just couldn't get anything off. I thought he was going to die out there on the football field. Completely embarrassing moment for this program, for this football team. And I think right now, this school is going to have to make a decision, and that's how important it is right now. I don't understand the financials of it. I mean, I do understand that if you cut bait tomorrow, you got to pay the man $50 million, and then you got to go find somebody else that is capable of taking this team where you want it to go, and it's going to cost you a lot more money than that. So as far as that aspect of it, I don't know how that all happens, if at all it possible happens. But I tell you, if it doesn't happen, because before I get into that, you watch that game tonight, Coach Kelly has lost his team. He has lost the respect of his players. He has lost the respect of his coaching staff. The way he gets on those guys, I can't take it. It's like passing the blame. He's the captain of the ship. It's his boat, and the ship's sinking. So we're at an important stage in this program's history, because if we don't move on, if Coach Kelly is our head coach next year, you got to fire some assistants. I mean, I hate going to it, but it is what it is. Offensive coordinator's got to go. The offensive line coaches got to go. And you may have to get rid of the whole offensive staff because it's completely embarrassing, the product we're putting on the field. And you have players. We got to have better players up front. We don't have the players to get it done up front. And I'm not being overcritical. You can watch the game. My grandma can watch the game and tell you we got to have better players up front, because we're not getting it done. But if you don't go make a change, if you fire that staff, who's going to want to come coach in this program? Who's going to want to come be the offensive coordinator or the offensive line coach after you see how they're getting degraded there on the sideline? I don't know. I wouldn't want to be the guy. So it's an important part. If you don't have a new coach next year for this team, you're going to start losing your better players to Ole Miss, to Ohio State, to Alabama, to Georgia. Why are they going to come back to this next year? They're not. I guarantee you Trey Green is going to be able to go make however much money he wants to make next year if he wants to go move somewhere else. And you could go down the line with Weeks. How much money you want, son, to come play for our program? That's where we're at, and that's how crucial we are right now in this program. I don't like it. I sit there and I watch this game and my blood pressure gets up because I saw a team that quit on the field. I saw a team that quit playing for their head coach. I've seen this in this program before. We're not in a good spot as a program. And it'll be very interesting to see what the powers that be, what they do with this critical decision for this program, because our fan base is done. Our fan base was done 2 weeks ago, and the fan base are the people that spend the money on the program, the people that buy tickets, the people that buy concessions, that support this program. They're done. I'm done. I don't like the product that we're putting on the field. Now I'm gonna go to some comments in Facebook, because I know people are frustrated and they want to get some things off their chest. Deja vu, Kevin Nettles, same thing last year against A&M. And I don't want to discredit Texas A&M because that was a heck of a football team that we just played in Tiger Stadium. That was a team that offensive coordinator had it figured out. Defensive coordinator had it figured out. That was a team that played with passion in our house, played with more passion than we had in our house. Uh, just not good. Casey Humble, agree. No fans equal bigger loss. I agree with you. If our fans don't go to the game to watch, then what do you have? Where's the money coming from then? Hot Rod Beloso, Kelly and Sloan has to go. Start up a GoFundMe, and it may happen. Kelly is terrible. There's a lot of things you hear, and I've heard people talk about: is he a fit? Is he not a fit? I don't like his antics. I don't like how he talks to his coaches. And I've had friends, my own friends, that ask me, "Well, you don't like a coach that gets in a player's face or gets in a coach's face when he isn't doing the right thing." Uh, and it's not about that. I've played for coaches that I didn't respect because of the way they talked to guys that were trying to give everything they had for their program, and you don't disrespect guys like that, guys that are dumping everything they have into it. And I can tell you like this: Bobby Petrino was one I played for. He had no respect for his players. He talked to guys that gave him everything like they were a dog, and that's what I'm seeing on the sideline now. So I don't have a heart for it. And there's a difference between coaching a guy or coaching up an assistant and then trying to demean an assistant so the camera picks you up getting on his butt on TV. And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Justin Rivette wants to know why am I not speaking on Blake Baker? He's getting out coached also. I agree. Our defense didn't look good. For a couple weeks now, we didn't look good. And I'm not taking up for anybody on this staff. Justin, Blake Baker's got to be better. The guys on defense have to be better. The players on offense, the players on defense. And where this goes to, you got to coach, yes, to go get rid of him, you got to pay him $50 million. But how much money are you paying him for that product to be like this? It's not good. You're paying that guy a lot of money, and he can't pass the blame because he's the guy at the top of this thing. Everything else below him, every coach, every player is below him. It's his ship. The ship is sinking. We have to do something quick. I'll keep going down. Need to be better in the trenches. Where does it start? Or that's where it starts. I agree. We've seen teams that we have here that have been talented on the defensive front, guys that were making plays in the backfield on run plays, tackle for a loss. We don't have legit D linemen. We've had better D linemen here. We have a few guys that are good. We don't have all-American offensive linemen right now, not on this team, and it shows up. There's too many pieces of this puzzle that are weak and just not getting it done. And you're not going to compete in the SEC. You're not going to compete nationally if something big doesn't happen, doesn't change. How do we hot rods on here? My question is, why don't we have players on the O line and D line? I don't understand it. I don't completely understand I understand part of it, the transfer portal, the NIL money. You go out, and I think what we did a little bit this year, you go out to try to find a guy that has experience somewhere else. And then in the process, you're losing teaching guys your system, your way of doing things. So you're going to find a guy that has experience, but is he necessarily a fit for your scheme? And I think that gets lost in this whole NIL era. Right now, to me, if you're asking me, we're not recruiting the right body type. We're recruiting big up front, and I'm just speaking generally on the offensive line. And what I see is big that can't bend and can't move. That's not going to win for you. You can be big. You watch the big left tackle for Alabama, but that cat's an athlete. You got to be able to bend. You got to be able to be physical, and we're not any of that right now up front. Whew. Jimbo Walker said T-Mac is preaching on a Saturday night. Jimbo, I don't like getting like this, and I don't like getting on coaches. I grew up a coach's son. My dad coached college ball. He coached high school ball. But when I've seen it and I've seen enough and I'm passionate, why I'm like this, I am passionate about the LSU Tigers, about LSU Tiger football, about this program, about something that I feel like I was a part of building. I look forward to football season and watching my team that I love go out there and put a good product on the field. And when I get texts from people around the country saying that never should have hired him, I don't understand why he's the right fit. It's embarrassing to see where your program is now. And this is people that aren't here in talk radio, that don't hear what's going on here in Baton Rouge, telling me that this team has lost respect for their coach and the way he is talking to his assistants on the field. It's a complete mess right now. And that was completely embarrassing, what we just watched on TV. And what sucks is you look at the rest of the season, Western Kentucky might be the only other win we get the rest of the season playing like we are. And then you're gonna start having guys like Nussmeier hadn't had a great year. He's been injured, and then he's getting beat to hell. At what point do guys that are gonna have an NFL future start kind of pulling away? You know, if that's my son, if Nussmeier's my son, that he's going to have surgery on something tomorrow. Because it's time for him to get out before he gets injured and he can't play anymore. I mean, that's where we're at. That's what's going to start happening. You're going to have guys that are going to be potential NFL players. They're going to find a way out, and that's just where we are in college football right now with the way it is, and it's going to be what starts happening. I'm going to keep scrolling down. Sean Efferson, who's he going to blame this time in a press conference? That's what drives me nuts. There's nobody. There's a lot of people to blame, but the blame goes all the way to the top. When you keep seeing things like this happen consistently, it goes to the top, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't know if it can be done, but if Brian Kelly's the head coach of this team next year, we're not going to like where the program is, and we're not going to like where the program is for the next few years. And I don't know if it's possible. I don't know who's going to want to come coach for him. I don't know. $10 million a year for Kelly to coach, Rodney Beloso. It goes all the way to the top. You paying somebody $10 million, the little things, the details, the tackling, the lack of physicalness on the offensive line, the lack of technique on the offensive line, it goes to the top. The lack of red zone offense, the play calling, these are guys you hired. These are the coordinators you hired. Yeah, it can be their fault, but these are the guy you hired. Here's a good question, Jimbo. If you could pick a head coach, who would you get? Jimbo, I'm gonna be straight up with you because I've thought about this. I'm going to see how bad Nick Saban misses college football, and I don't know if that's possible because I mean you got to pay a guy $50 million to go home and go coach somewhere else. Uh, but my first call to see how bad Nick Saban misses college football. If he doesn't miss it, if he's done, if he's happy with TV, the next guy I'm going to find and the next guy you better go get is over there in Oxford, Mississippi. You can say what you want about him. You can say some people don't like him. Heck, I didn't like him 5 years ago. I actually despised him. But I think the right guy right now for this program, we need an offensive minded head coach in here. And the guy in Oxford, Mississippi, with the last name Kiffin, he is a guru, and I would take him in a heartbeat. After that, I don't know. I mean, after that, I mean, it's a crapshoot of who you're gonna go get. You're gonna go get a young guy that comes in that you have to go get because you got to pay BK 50 million. It's a crapshoot at that point, and then you're gonna start losing your top players to offensive coordinators that have some type of good offense. And I mean, you're gonna lose your best players to another school that will go help their draft status. They're not going to stay here and play for that. I mean, why would you? Why would it's costing you millions? Why would you stay here as a kid that has talent and play in that offense when every time you go out there and you put something out there like that, it's hurting your pocketbook? Um, Daniel Thornhill, the post-game celebration by A&M and Tiger Stadium is totally unacceptable, but that's where we are as a program. I mean, that's a good football team. Um, they haven't won a lot here. A lot of teams haven't won in Tiger Stadium. They just disrespected us in Tiger Stadium. Heck, if they want to cut sod out, they can. They just embarrassed us in Tiger Stadium. Scott Harrington, if you buy him out, we set the program back 5 more years. We don't have the money for buyout, worthy replacement and roster. Not happy, but realistic. Scott Harrington, if you don't fire him, you set the program back 10 years. How about that? If you don't fire him, you set the program back 10 years because nobody's going to want to come play here. Nobody's going to want to come coach here. Nobody's going to want to go watch a game. Nobody's going to want to buy an LSU jersey, a hat, toilet paper. That's where we are right now. It's bad. Guys, I could probably go on with this all night. Somebody's going to be fired in the morning. Scott Harrington, somebody has to change, though. My guess is OC, O-line coach, and special teams. Yeah, you know. I would like to know how many pass attempts / completions are behind the line of scrimmage. And Clint, that's Clint Arteta. Clint, I think a lot of that is because we don't have time. I mean, if Nussmeier, we can't take a 5-step drop. I think I think we took one and completed a deep ball to Barry and Brown. That might have even been a 7, but we don't have the time to do anything else. And as a quarterback that's getting killed back there, and as an offensive coordinator, and I don't like where we are as an offense, but you can't call anything else or else you're going to be behind the sticks. I don't like it. We're no threat down the field. We haven't been a threat down the field until the deep ball we completed to Barry and Brown tonight. But let's go to a bright spot. And this is where we are as a program, though. Harlem Berry, he's a guy that shows that you can see has a lot of potential that can be really good for this program. But if you don't have the right scheme here, I guarantee you Georgia or Ole Miss or all those teams I name or Ohio State, they'll take a Harlem Berry. And there's nothing in the way college football is shaped right now that makes Harlem Berry stay here at LSU unless something changes. And, we have some bright spots. You can go down the line and there's players, Trey'Dez Green. He's a guy that's had a breakout season. The structure of college football doesn't necessarily say that he's going to be here next year. If things are still the same, if things don't change. Here's a good point, Scott Harrington. You have to have a dual threat quarterback. I think that's where it is right now. I think if you have a guy that's not a dual threat quarterback, you're one dimensional, and you see the way football goes. It goes from way back when all the quarterbacks were running, there was no forward pass, and then it goes to straight drop back guys, and then one of the guys that I feel like changed this game that I had the opportunity to play with was Michael Vick. When Michael Vick came on the scene, he changed the way that quarterback position was played and the way it was viewed and the way it is right now. And now, if you don't have a dual threat guy, you could even watch it at the highest level. There's not very many straight drop back quarterbacks left in the NFL. I mean, Darnold's one in Seattle. Burrow, I would say, is kind of one, but you saw what Joe did when he was here. He could run. Trying to think, Trevor Lawrence can run. Everybody that can throw it can run. So I think that's the day and age. You have to have a dual threat guy. And I think that's part of the problem. The offense that we tried to run at LSU was an offense that needed a dual threat quarterback to run, but we didn't have a dual threat quarterback. We're going to run some of these reads and some of these fakes, and they don't have to respect the quarterback or the run, but we're handing it and we're reading, and for what? They're coming to tackle the running back. I'm gonna go down for a few more, y'all. Like I said, I could go on forever and ever here. Whew. Let me see if I can find some good ones. Roster management is not there for LSU in new NIL era. Pat Strange, I agree with you, man. We ain't gonna have no roster to manage. We might have to try to get BRCC a football team because we ain't gonna have nobody left. Uh, Jack is saying after the Vandy game, he kept talking about who they play, referring to the players as opposed to who we play. I agree with you, Jack. I notice all those little things and the mannerisms and the words that he slips in. He lost his team. I'm just telling you right now, I've seen it. He's lost his team. Um, it's no fun. Whew. Nick is the first call to make and make him say no. Yeah, I agree. And I like Lane, like I just said, Nick and then Lane. I don't understand the money. I don't know who makes the money, who makes these decisions. I know you're gonna have to have help from some boosters and to pay one guy out. Heck, we still paying Coach O. And to go get another guy, I don't understand how all that works. But I do understand that this program, if it doesn't make a change, we're making a slide. Uh, Boy, we're going to be talking about this one for a while. Kevin Eddles, Saban, Kiffin, or Vandy's coach. I like the coach at Vandy. He's getting the most out of his team. One thing we're not getting with this team. I mean, you see, this is the most viewers, most comments we've had all week. We have a passion. I mean, all year we have a passionate fan base, a fan base that loves to see their team, that is used to seeing their LSU Tigers go out and perform and put on a show for the nation. We're not it right now. Ooh, disrespected here on a Saturday night in October. How many times can you say that? I can't think of many times. I can think of games that we lost in October in Tiger Stadium. I can't think of many. I can't think of any games that, other than this one, that we were disrespected in Tiger Stadium. We were disrespected. The players quit. The coaches quit on the sideline. It's completely embarrassing. Marty Broussard's asking me how I'm doing. Marty, I need some blood pressure medicine, man. Y'all, I could go down and I could scroll down. There's a lot going on. Whew. So I'm just gonna wrap it up, y'all. It's embarrassing for this program. Completely embarrassing what we watched tonight. Uh, Mr. Woodward's got to make a decision for this school, for this team, for this program. And it's important because, like I said, if somebody stated on here, if we fire him, it's going to set the program back 5 years. If we don't fire him, it's going to be 10 because we're going to lose our players. We're going to lose our fan base. We're going to lose everything that this program has been built on. I'm fired up. I'm passionate about LSU football. I'm passionate about my Tigers. I get behind any coach that I feel like gets the most out of his players. When I see players that play for their coach, I don't see that right now. I'm completely disappointed, and I don't like the product we put out there on the field. I want to, before we go tonight, I'm telling y'all I could sit here for 2 hours and we could talk. I wish we could take callers. We appreciate our sponsors for coming on. Jerry Lane, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, right here in Zachary off of Samuel Road. Go hit up my boy Jeremy Vignair. Tell him if you need a new or used vehicle. I'm driving a Dodge. My son's driving a Jeep that they got from him. Good people. Go hit them up, Jerry Lane. Tell them you came from Snapback. Chris's Specialty Foods, the best steak I've ever had in my life. I had tonight. It was pre-marinated, seasoned from Chris's Specialty Food. Stuffed pork loin. We had the works tonight. Brisket, unbelievable. We appreciate those guys. Go check them out in Central, off of Highland, off of Millerville, Lakeview in New Orleans. Wall to Wall Roofing and Construction. I'm gonna read y'all one more from Wall to Wall. The Snapback with T-Mac is fueled by Wall to Wall Roofing and Construction, Louisiana's powerhouse roofing team. Fortified roofs, big league craftsmanship, and elite service every single snap. Call 225-605-WALL. We gotta make a change, y'all. Snapback with T-Mac. I ain't gonna fall asleep for 4 or 5 hours. We out.